Now these last two examples, I have a coefficient in front of my x squared that is not 1. So whenever that happens, my first step is I want to create this to be a quadratic with my coefficient being 1 in front of x squared. So to do that, I need to divide every single term by that coefficient, so in this case 3. So when I do that, I get x squared plus 4x plus 5 is equal to 0. And now I'm going to go ahead and go through those same steps that we went through before. So my first step here is to go ahead and move c, so I'm going to subtract 5 from both sides. And so I get x squared plus 4x, leave a space, is equal to negative 5. And now I need to complete the square. So I need to take my b, which is 4, and divide it by 2, and square it. Well, 4 divided by 2, I get 2, and 2 squared, I get 4. So now I have a perfect square trinomial on the left-hand side, and so when I factor this, I get x plus b divided by 2, which is 2, squared, is equal to negative 5 plus 4, which is negative 1. And now I can take the square root of both sides. And so I take the square root to get rid of the square term, and I end up with x plus 2, and I take the square root of negative 1. So I have x plus 2 is equal to plus or minus. Now I need to think back to our complex numbers lesson. When I take the square root of negative 1, that is equal to I. So this is going to be plus or minus I, which is our imaginary number. And now to solve for x, I just need to subtract 2 from both sides. And so I get that x is equal to negative 2 plus or minus I. Okay, let's look at one last one. So here I have 4x squared plus 32x is equal to negative 68. Here they actually already moved my c term, so I don't have to worry about that step. I have my x squared and x term already by itself on one side. However, I have a number in front of x squared, so my first step here is I need to divide 4 from every single term. So when I do that, I get x squared plus 8x is equal to negative 17. Now I need to go ahead and complete the squares. My b term here is 8, so I need to do 8 divided by 2 squared. Well, 8 divided by 2 is 4, and 4 squared, I get 16. So on the left-hand side, when I factor that, I get x plus 4 squared is equal to negative 17 plus 16, I get negative 1. And then taking the square root of both sides, I get x plus 4 is equal to plus or minus, the square root of negative 1 is I. And then subtract 4 from both sides, and you get that x is equal to negative 4 plus or minus I.